Good afternoon, all. It's now 5:30, so we'll start our meeting. I'll declare the ordinary council meeting of the 28th of January 2025. In accordance with the Local Government Act of 1993, Cowra Council is recording this meeting and will upload the recording to Council's website. By speaking at this meeting, you agree to being recorded and having that recording published in the public domain. Please ensure that when you speak at council meetings, you are respectful to others, use appropriate language at all times. Cowra Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of the meeting. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we gather, the Wiradjuri people, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We have one apology from Councillor Tony Horton. Everybody else is here, I think. Would someone like to move that we accept those apologies?
Could I amend it to include Paul Devery?
Paul Devery, our General Manager, is still on leave, and Director Hackett is the acting CEO. I can't thank you. Councillor Kiss. All those in favour? Thank you. Disclosures of interest. Would councillors and staff please indicate in relation to any interest you need to declare, A, what report or item you are declaring an interest in, whether the interest is pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and C, what is the nature of the interest. Councillor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to declare a non-pecuniary interest. I think I just cut everyone's phone off in 5.1 as a family member was involved in the development of this DA, and I will leave the room.
Can we all just check if ours are working? Councillor Cave, yours? Yep. Okay. Thank you. Any other expressions of disclosures of interest? Thank you. There are no presentations, and we have no one registered to speak at a public forum. So I'll now go to the confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 16th of December 2024. Can I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Kiss. Councillor Wright. Thank you, Councillor Kiss.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, look, I'm happy for this to be taken on notice, but unfortunately we weren't able to get our tourism manager, Mr. Kurt Overzet, to our December meeting for a presentation. Have we heard anything more about whether he might be able to present next month at all?
Has anyone heard from the Tourist Corporation? Councillor Watt?
Thanks for raising that. Kurt is actually on parental leave at the moment. He's had a little baby boy and will be returning in February. Normally, actually, it's to an information meeting, so we'll be in touch with Tracy to organise the right meeting for that. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Wright?
No, there's been all right. I was quite happy with what I read. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you, carried. Item 3.1, Acting General Manager. Thank you, Councillor Wright. Thank you, Councillor Fagan. Thank you. Councillor Wright.
This is mostly housekeeping to keep the business running, and it's good to see that it's only for another 4 or 5 days, and hopefully Mr. Paul Devery will be back in the office after his treatment. Thank you.
Councillor Fagan. Write a reply, Councillor Wright. Right. Okay. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Passed. 4.1, local government remuneration, the 2025 determination process. Has everybody had a look at that? Councillor Kiss, thank you.
I'll second.
Councillor Fagan, thank you. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I suppose briefly, I'm quite happy for the Remuneration Tribunal to determine any increases. And it's always a delicate balance. I mean, as councillors, we don't want to see undue hardship on our ratepayers. But, we're here because we want to see our community thrive, but there is a true financial cost in this volunteering role. Remuneration will never be able to be set as an income, and nor would we want it to be. We're not staff. But look, this document, it explains an awful lot. There's a lot that's been taken into consideration. It talks about CPI increases compared to what the remuneration increases have been, and that's a considerable difference, such as 7% remuneration compared to 19.7 in CPI. I was quite surprised actually at the difference, that when it was looking at comparisons with other states, there was a huge disparity in remuneration costs. And look, you could go ahead with so many. There's so much to raise in there, and it's all very valid. So I'm very happy to support the motion as it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fagan.
Just to say that this is a very annual event. We had a review in 2022, and I think that the matter was dealt with then quite well, and now we've got Local Government New South Wales putting a submission in on our behalf, and I think that's a fair thing to do. I think it's very difficult for councils to actually advocate for a rate rise or a pay rise themselves, and I think by doing Local Government New South Wales doing it for us, it's actually a sensible move, and it's very well backed, as Councillor Kiss said, backed by a whole lot of information and a whole lot of research, and I think it's very appropriate that we do it this way. So we'll just wait now and see what the Independent Pricing Authority gives us as a pay rise, if they do. So I'm quite happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fagan. Would anybody else like to comment? Councillor Wright.
Yeah, as Councillor Fagan sort of hinted there, this is a difficult topic when we're sort of talking about our own remuneration. But it should be done by the umpire, the local government. Remuneration Tribunal is supposed to be the umpire, but they have little idea on what they're determining at times. The local government for New South Wales has, in their submission, identified that of the 17 councils that didn't have an election because there wasn't enough nominees, 16 were in regional areas and only one in the city areas. And they highlighted the disparity between the city councillor remuneration and rural and regional remuneration. This could be one of the factors of why people don't take an interest in taking this on, because it is just a bit more than volunteering. We are asked to go to many other committees and so forth, besides just our 3 monthly meetings. And it also says here that the tribunal will next consider structural issues in 2026, and I don't know if it was in the Local Government New South Wales report or what the tribunal was talking about, that the Deputy Mayor might need to get paid more money for when they do have to fill in for the Mayor or doing other civic jobs as the Deputy Mayor. And it started to get a bit messy when they said, oh, in that case, if the Deputy Mayor is going to do the Mayor's job for something while the Mayor's away or doing something, they will take the remuneration of the Mayor portion out to give to the Deputy Mayor, which sounds like Peter paying Paul. And I'm not saying the Deputy Mayor doesn't need more money for the extra work they do, but in a city, if the way they carry on in the city is it's sort of a mini political exercise. Being a councillor, that a deputy mayor would be pushing to do as much extra as they could to get more money, and I think that could bring down the undoing of some councils with mayors feeling threatened or councillors feeling left out of the loop. But it's a very difficult topic, and I hope some sense comes out of it. They have increased it. There have been significant increases in the last 3 to 4 years, and we've got to be careful that we don't make it too attractive, that we get that people forget that they're serving the town and not themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Anybody else like to make a comment? Okay, write a reply, Councillor Kiss.
Yes, I would, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor. I think Councillor Wright actually identified something quite important there too, about the increase of council elections that are going through uncontested, because there were 21 New South Wales councils that went through in 2024 being uncontested. And I have to wonder, although it's obviously not included in the stats there, as to whether ultimately it could be a cost saving if you don't have by-elections. You increase the remuneration a little bit, maybe you're actually going to get in more council or nominations to begin with. So that was just my thought in it as well. It may well balance itself out in itself. So thank you, Councillor Wright, for raising that.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Carried. 4.2, Investment and Financial Report. Councillor Fagan, thank you. Councillor Kiss. Councillor Fagan.
Just like to say that this is a monthly report we receive, which is very good, and we know where we're up to. Thank the Director for the report, and also to note that our rates are coming in at a very good rate compared to other years. It's quite a little bit higher, and so that we're actually collecting them. Not quite sure what the new director's doing, but he's obviously doing a good job of collecting rates. And remind people that we do have a payment plan if anyone has got trouble, meeting their commitments for rates. And also that we're looking forward to seeing the director has intimated that he's going to look at our loan funding, and we'll hopefully get some savings from that. So we're in pretty good shape. We do have a lot of money in reserves that we don't get to spend. It's all tied up with grants and other things that we have to spend it on, but we do have a fair balance and we can meet our commitments, and I'm very comfortable with the way we're standing at the moment. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fagan. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I agree with what Councillor Fagan is saying. Our investments are actually looking sound, averaging at 4.95%. I've noticed our unrestricted funds have been on a slight decline since August. Mind you, unrestricted funds do go up and down at times. No doubt it's something that our expert staff will continue to monitor, so I've got no concerns with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to comment? Write a reply. Yes, Councillor Wright.
Yeah, no, as Councillor Fagan mentioned, we're looking at refinancing some of the loans at higher interest, and had a look at those, and in 2010 we borrowed 7.213 million for the sewage treatment plant at 8.13%, which at the time wouldn't have been a bad interest rate. However, at 8.13% over 30 years, you're nearly paying 2.5 times the principal back in interest. So, and I've discussed this with council before, and they said, "Oh, that's what we do. We borrow money for 30 years." But you can see with the airport subdivision, we borrowed 1.4 million, but only over 10 years. And admittedly it was at 2.63%, but it's back to our outstanding principal was back to 247,000, and so we paid it off quicker. So that'd be at 2.63%, which is not going to be a big. It could be 10% of some of the extra you're paying, but just I'll finish that comment. The comment on the question with the airport subdivision: did we use the sale of the land to pay for the principal for the loan repayments, or was it just taken out of general revenue and the sale of the land went somewhere else?
I'll ask the director to
I'll leave
reply
that
for
on.
that.
Yeah.
Through
Even
the
if you
chair,
take it
I'll have
on
to take
notice.
that on notice,
Yeah.
councillor, but I will undertake to get back to you.
Yeah, whenever, next information meeting or something.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Wright. Anybody else? Councillor Fagan, write a reply. Thank you. Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
All those against? Carried. Thank you. 5.1, development application 10.2024.85.1, lot 12, section 8, DP 977420, 70 Redfern Street, Cowra, addition to neighbourhood shop, office and storage area lodged by M. Singh. Can I have a...
I'll move that.
Thank you, councillor Fagan. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Kiss, thank you. Councillor Fagan.
This is an excellent application for a business development in our Redfern Street area, and it shows the confidence that this applicant has in that area, and it's a good thing to see. It is just a small development with a warehouse and an office behind the already established Redfern Street store. It's unusual to have a small store in anywhere these days. They used to be everywhere. They used to be prolific, and this one has survived. So it's great that they can continue to develop, and it's very good that we can actually have this approval. I'd also like to say it has been well assessed, and so we did have suggestions from the neighbour about shadowing and a few other things which have been dealt with in the assessment. Nothing that would actually cause us to have any concerns about this. Also like to say that there has been a small change in the amount and number of parking areas, which I think is very sensible. It would be not a very good look for us, or a very good outcome for us, to say that we couldn't have this extra construction, and if there was a problem with the parking, because there is parking around the area, and just because they don't have it on site, I think it would be a problem if we didn't agree with that. So I'm quite comfortable with allowing this to go through with the parking as it is. I've met quite a few people call in there quickly. It's not a long-term parking option. You can wait around for somebody else if you want to. So I think there is plenty of room for parking, and it is fairly quick. It's one of those places when you all drop in to get the milk and bread on the way home, and no one hangs around for very long. So I think there is a merit in actually providing the number of car parks that are there, and it's been well assessed in that way, and common sense has prevailed. So I'd just like to say that I approve this recommendation.
Thank you, councillor Fagan. Councillor Kiss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I have to support Councillor Fagan's initial comments. I too agree it's a positive thing for our community when local businesses wishing to expand their developments. I mean, that has to be a good thing for our community in general. The only other thing I would like to add is that there was some concern about the drainage, and that's reasonable too. But being that there was originally meant to be an easement that went through to Kite Street that was unable to be found to be in existence, I actually think that has to be an improvement now that the drainage is expected to go out to Redfern Street. So, if anything, this DA has brought to light some problems that may have been some issues to begin with, and it's actually going to be now negated altogether. So, I'm very happy to support this development. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Kiss. Councillor Wright, are you?
Yeah, I'll have something.
Yeah, yeah, no, sorry, no, your mic was on.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
I'm
you were-
sorry, yeah,
Yep.
no, but I.
Yep.
It stated there that in 1989, for the original development that was on the site, there was supposed to be a easement created over the land to Kite Street for the stormwater. That hasn't been done, and they're asking to do it now. Is this applicant got to pay for that, or does council pay for it because they didn't follow up at the time to ensure it was created?
I'll ask the director to reply.
Through the chair, that's something that the applicant would be required to fund, not council.
Thank you. I just can't find it, but there was something about curb and guttering, a cover or something that had to be stuck down with a resin, not mortar and cement. What was that? You know what I mean? It's not going to affect my
No,
decision.
can I take that on notice and get back to you?
Yeah, I should have found it. I did look at. Sorry. I'm just interested. But in saying those two questions, I think it's, as been said here, it's good to see that it's someone's is providing a store in that area. It's there's a lot of different type of residents that live in that area. Some are older and younger, and it's handy just to have a store that you can go and get a few things in between your main shops if you want to use the supermarket for most of your things, and it's good to see they're having a go, and it's because when they used to do DAs were put in to open up new land, and that part of the DA process was that a small store would be in the area. I think even in the development north of Evans Street, there was some talk there should be some sort of store or something there, and there used to be one in Comfort Street, and they've been everywhere. There's still one in West Cowra operating to a certain degree, but it's mostly a takeaway. They were a very necessary and vibrant part of the town, and there's only one paper shop in town now. It's handy to have other shops where you can get a paper, so it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. The director has found that section on the epoxy gap, so I'll let the director explain it to you.
Through the chair, it was a requirement when cutting in for the curb adapter that any gaps that exist have to be filled using an epoxy resin, not using concrete or mortar.
Thank you very much. Anybody else like to comment on this DA? Thank you, Councillor Downing.
Having done a little bit of casual work for the previous owner of this shop, I can attest that it is a very, very busy little corner store. It's a hub in that area. And the office area is pretty much non-existent, and the storage area would definitely need to be expanded. So I have no problem with this. And I think the parking, that it's not actually going to create more customers. It's just more space for them to store stuff. So I don't have a problem with parking either. So I'm all for it.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to comment? Councillor Wright again.
Yeah, I'd like to comment, but it'll have to be a question because I can't comment twice. But the person that put in the objection, that could nearly be as good as a DA application. It's the amount of detail that went in it, and photographs, and been to the ombudsman and a few things. A very detailed submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. That was a question, I take. That statement. Okay, anybody else like to comment? Write a reply, Councillor Fagan.
Just to say that this is a good development for that area, that it's been there a long time and people appreciate the service it offers. It's the person who put in the submission has been, I think it's been all the conditions, all the matters that he raised or they raised have been met and been conditioned where needed. And I think it's an excellent development, and congratulate the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fagan. I'll put the motion. It is a DA. All those in favour? Those can't be any against. Thank you. Passed unanimously. Can we get councillor Watt back in, please? Okay, thank you. 5.2, section 355, committee draft minutes, the Natural Resource Management Advisory Committee meeting held on the 28th of November 2024.
I'm not sure whether I should move this, but I will.
Councillor Fagan?
As a representative of the council on this committee, I don't declare an interest, so I will move this if that's possible.
Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Kiss, thank you. Councillor Fagan?
This is the Natural Resource Management Advisory Committee meeting, and we have had another one since this. We have asked for a few new members. We're looking into that, and we have a few already, which we'll deal with at the next meeting that we have. It's the committee that's been going for a long time, and I thank Councillor Wright, who passed it over to me. And we've had a successful Archie Bird competition, and we are looking for more members, and we are having a strategic planning meeting next month. So it's going well, and hopefully we will attract a few new people and do a lot of new things, including the presence of the new Sustainability Officer, Belinda O'Reilly, who spoke at our last meeting. So it's all very interesting and very different to other things. So we are going to change our name because we think it's probably not, and come up with a new delegation of authority, but that's all in the future. We've got 3 or 4 years to get it right, and I think we're working toward that. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fagan. Councillor Kiss?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, what an exciting committee to be nominated to. I congratulate Councillor Fagan at being potentially appointed as the new chair. Look, I think she's going to have a lot of fun with this, and I look forward to seeing what adventures are going to be occurring over the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kiss. Would anybody else like to comment? It's Councillor Wright.
I'm very enthusiastic for the NRM committee at the moment. I've had 2 meetings regularly close together, and to have one in January is nearly unheard of. I congratulate the staff and the members for being able to get that going, and it looks like they do have a bit of idea of what they want to try and achieve, and I wish them all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Any other comments? Right, a reply, Councillor Fagan?
Not necessary, thank you.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Passed. Thank you. Councillor Wright, can you just turn your microphone? Thank you. Item 6, late reports, the Art Gallery update grant opportunity. That is all there. It did come through late, and we apologise for that. Does anybody like to make any comments on that? It's not a motion. It's there for information.
So
There is a recommendation.
So first we must move that we're going to deal with the late report. Make a recommendation, and we're going to deal with the late report. Are we happy to deal with the late report?
Point of order is this it?
Thank you.
A point of order, is this a open council, something to be discussed, or should it be discussed in the closed meeting? Because it has got commercial, I think it's got commercial information there that could cause problems later on if we get the grant, and what for people to.
I'll refer this to the director.
Through the chair, the value of the grants that are available are public knowledge. However, your point is well made in that the report before you does make a recommendation about value specific to this project, and on that basis, I would agree that this is a matter that should be held for discussion behind closed doors. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do I need a motion to move it to the confidential section?
Yeah, I'll move the late motion be deferred to the confidential section of the council meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Fagan. Councillor Watt, thank you. I take it you don't need to write a reply?
No,
All those in favour?
aye.
Against? Thanks, carried. Item 7 is a notice of motion. 7.1 is a notice of rescission, request for tender 6/2024 full service heavy patching of 2025 and 26. We have a resolution. We councillors Paul Smith, Nicky Kiss and Peter Wright give notice that at the next ordinary meeting of council to be held on the 28th of January 2025, we intend to move the following rescission motion. Motion that the resolution 278/24 titled Request for Tender 6/2024 Full Service Heavy Patching 2025-2026 that was passed at the meeting of the 16th of December 2024 be rescinded. 1. Accept the schedule of rates tender from Countrywide Civil and Asphalt, ABN 7063055029 for request for tender 6/2024 full service heavy patching 2025/2026 and authorise the General Manager to execute any documentation required to award contract 6/2024 full service heavy patching. Councillor Kiss, would you like to move that?
I've got a. We dealt with this in committee,
We did.
so how come we're dealing with it in open council now?
We sought advice, and the advice was that it had to be in the general meeting. I would have thought because it was in the confidential section last time, it would stay in that this time, but apparently the advice we got was that it had to come into the general part.
Okay, I'll accept the advice, but I'm pretty unsure about this, but because it is confidential information. Anyway, I will second it, the debate.
Thank you. Councillor
Just
Kiss?
a point of order,
Yes, Councillor Wright.
should the mover and seconder be one of the three people that have signed the rescission motion or not?
Do they have to be? We don't know, so if it's all right with Councillor Fagan, we might move it to Councillor Wright as the seconder. Yep, Councillor Wright, you're the seconder.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you. Councillor Kiss?
Look, I suppose I felt comfortable in the decision to do it here, and obviously it's been approved for this particular meeting was because it was for the rescission as opposed to the resolution. But anyway, I have already agreed to support the rescission. Thank you.
Councillor Wright?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we're dealing with this in a responsible way. A mistake was found in the report brought to council in which we made our decision, and it would meant that the company wouldn't have been the leading tender. As far as being held in committee or so forth, the original decision would still have to be released to the community at some point. So I think we're doing it here, and it's out there in the public, and I don't know if the other one has been released yet or not, but I think that we're just trying to manage the mistake that's been made and to make sure that when we do allocate tenders, that we do it in a proper manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Would anyone, Councillor Watt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question. Is there a time sensitivity that we do deal with this motion tonight, or would it be appropriate for us to delay this and receive information about where the motion is tabled? I understand that you've received motion. Okay, my question is, do you need us to accept the motion in confidential tonight?
Through the chair, that'd be my preferred method, just to ensure that there's a legal basis for establishing the contract in the manner as recommended by staff.
Yeah, thank you.
Would anyone else like to comment on this?
Don't we have to do it tonight because we got a late report to reallocate the tender, haven't we?
Mm.
So,
There is in the confidential section, yeah.
yeah, but we need to rescind something before we can make the other decisions.
Correct.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I guess the
No, councillor Watt?
thank you. I think the concern being, and it's something that can't really be undone now because it is in the papers, is that we are essentially letting one of the tenderers know that they were not successful and letting that know quite publicly by rescinding the motion. And of course, we need to do this before we choose to accept someone. But it seems, a strange situation where we would tell someone prior that they had not succeeded when it hadn't been advertised as such. But I think in taking the advice of the director that we need to execute this contract, I'm happy to proceed.
Through the chair, I'll just clarify the rescission motion. Excuse me.
We'll finish this matter.
The rescission motion doesn't advise anybody that they're unsuccessful, and so council still has the opportunity to debate the report and either accept the recommendation or make an alternate recommendation.
So anyone else like to comment?
Yeah, got a question. Just open the confidential section, and the first part of the council recommendation is to do what we're doing now. So have we got things really tied up here, have we?
Through the chair, I circulated in the pink folder and via email that there had to be a change in the recommendation, and that's on the front page of your pink folder, but it is confidential at this stage. So the separate sheet.
Oh, this one. All right. Sorry, I didn't read the mail. Thank you.
Okay, this is regrettable, but we have what we've got. Right a reply, councillor Kiss.
Just like to say, I thank the director for his explanation. That does make a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. Before we move into confidential, I want to discuss Australia Day over the weekend. Those that attended would attest that it was a great weekend. It went off impeccably. We were very, very lucky that we had an Australia Day ambassador without peer. Ben Farizano was an exceptional man. He brought his mother with him, who had spent time at Arambi as a young girl. Her parents were the overseers there, the mission managers of the time. A lot of those weren't popular people, but apparently the Orleys were. And she met up with some of the kids that she played with at Arambi when she was a kid. She left here when she was in second class. And it was a really wonderful weekend, made more so by the fact that this ambassador was exceptional. What he'd been through, the way he worked around the room, he spoke to everybody. He was just a gem of a man. And a lot of the work, the whole thing went off very smoothly. And the amount of work that the staff had put in, and we don't normally get this. We got a gift from the ambassador. He gave us a book on Profiles in Hope, which is about mental health, people that have got over it, and he told us to make sure we read chapter 7, but he's actually chapter 6. But the people that have got chapters near Lane Beachley, Preston Campbell, Ben Farinazo, Nick Sherry, Tom Boyd, Jackie Lambie, Ian Thorpe, Elia Green, James Packer. These people have contributed to this book. It's afterwards by John Brogden, and Sir Peter Cosgrove supported it. And he gave a gift of that to the council, but he also gave us a card, which I'd like to read, to the Mayor of Cowra, councillors, members of the Cowra Council, and their team of supporters. Thank you for your professional and extraordinary effort throughout Australia Day. It was a wonderful and deeply moving experience for both myself and Mum. We felt embraced by the community and thoroughly enjoyed reconnecting with Cowra and its people. We will carry with us cherished memories of our time here and reflect fondly on the many shared special moments. Thank you all for your hard work, commitment, and most of all, your friendship. Warm regards, Ben Farinazo and Yvonne Ousley. Look, it was a wonderful time, and those that experienced it, it will stay with us for a long, long time. And Auntie Esther Cutmore was one of the kids that played with this lady when they were kids over at Arambi, and yesterday they had coffee together, and Yvonne Orley's brother was buried at Cowra. He died while they were there. He was only 14 months old, and we spent a couple of days really trying to find all the records, which there aren't any, of where he was actually buried, and we believe we found it yesterday morning, and a very emotional time to find that baby's grave. So yeah, it was just a great day, and I really do want to thank the staff, Linda and Emma, the amount of work they put in. Everything went like clockwork, and people have told us, a couple of the councillors, that they believe it was the best Australia Day we've ever had. So yeah, it was wonderful. So I'll now take a motion to close the meeting to the public. Consider the following confidential reports. 9.1, request for tender 62024, full service heavy patching 2025-2026. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 10A2D/I of the Local Government Act, and council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest, as it deals with commercial information of a confidential nature that would, if disclosed, prejudice the commercial position of the person who supplied it. Can I have someone to move that we do that? Thank you, Councillor Watt.
Sorry, we'll also need to have as part of that motion the additional confidential item that has been moved through.
Sorry.
We've moved the late motion to a confidential, so that will need to be included in the motion.
Look, we do have a late matter. Sorry about this. The art gallery upgrade grant opportunity. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 10A2DI of the Local Government Act, and council is satisfied that the discussion of this matter in an open meeting would on balance be contrary to the public interest, as it deals with commercial information of a confidential nature that would, if disclosed, confer a commercial advantage. So can I have Councillor Watt? Thank you. Councillor Kiss, thank you. Councillor Watt, would you like to comment? Councillor Kiss. Anybody else like to comment? All those in favour? Passed, thank you. Okay, we'll deal with the request for tender first. We turned off the